Neil, we make the trip up to Hull this coming weekend. Looking back on your league career with QPR so far, it does seem very much one way or the other in terms of how you assess it. We've had 6 games. On the one side, only 1 win in that 6. On the other side, only 1 defeat in that 6. And so many of those draws were so close to being wins. How do you assess those first 6 league games?
Yes, you always want more as a manager. You're always looking to get better from the squad of players that you've got in front of you. I think there's been signs of progress. I think I've been pleased with some aspects of our play, but there's a million and one things that we can improve upon, and probably frustrated that we've not picked up more points. Like you said, there's such a fine margin in this division in between a lot of the teams. The points and the league table suggest that. We've only won 1, we've only lost 1, we've drawn 4. Out of them 4 draws, we should have won quite a few of them games, in my opinion. And if you add those points on, then we're where I think that we should be. Now it's up to us to make sure that we improve and turn those draws into results. We're nearly there, but nearly's not good enough, and we have to go to Hull and try and put that right on Saturday.
Those late goals against Sheffield United and Swansea, had we have held on, we're joint 6. That's how close this group is.
Yeah, you don't need to remind me. Yeah, no, that's true, and that's adds to the frustration even more because, yeah, in my opinion, we should have won both of those games. Maybe when you come back from 2-0 down at Reading and draw, it's a good point. But when you're 1-0 up at home, particularly the last kick of the game, Sheffield United, and then late against Swansea, it can feel like a defeat, and there's natural frustration amongst all of us because we want to win, and we've not won at home for a long time, and we've been close to doing that. But I repeat, close isn't good enough, and we need to do better at both ends of the pitch. We could have killed the game off last week, and we didn't, and we paid the price for that. And having said that, we could have kept a clean sheet. We win the game, and they had one moment and scored from it. And sometimes you need a little bit of luck and fortune, and I don't think we've had much of that either recently. But you make your own luck in this game, and we've got to work harder, and we've got to keep every day trying to improve the team that we want to become.
You've got that rare luxury in the Championship at the moment of having a full week of training. How beneficial is that being? Yeah,
it's been really, really beneficial. So, this week we managed to play a game on the Tuesday, which was a big benefit for the players who have not played recently. And one of my messages to the players all the time is we have a commitment to every single one of them in the squad. Just because they're not in the team doesn't mean that they got forgotten about. We do what we think is right for every individual, and some of those players who played on Tuesday might play Saturday. They might be playing against Huddersfield next weekend, or in a few weeks' time they could be called upon to play in a big game. So it's our duty to them to make sure that they're ready for their opportunity from a mental and physical point of view. So that was the reason for us playing on Tuesday, that some players who have not played recently, you can train, but to get out on the pitch and get your bearings on the pitch is really important. And I think that was something that I've done at previous clubs, and it'd be keen for something for me to carry on here as well.
Stefan Johansson was one of those players. He came through an hour unscathed. How pleased were you to see him come through that?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, Stefan's, his leadership qualities, his experience in the group is really important. On the training pitch, in meetings, he's very knowledgeable. He's got a great voice. We would have wanted to play him sooner in a couple of B team games, but the weather unfortunately went against us. So for him to get back out on the pitch, and I don't think he's had much action for quite a few months. I think he'll really benefit that, and it brings competition to the squad as well. And I hope that keeps everyone on their toes.
Chris Willock also featured in that game as well. Obviously, he hasn't been out injured. What was the thinking behind his involvement?
Yeah, like I said, everyone, if he didn't play on Saturday, so he either trains on Tuesday or he plays in a game. we felt it was best for him to play in a game. So Chrissy got 60 minutes under his belt. It's a chance for him to build up his fitness and get into rhythm, because it's been stop-start for him this season. And yeah, in a different type of environment, it was nice for him to feel the ball and have some success, and I think it makes him feel better as well. So, and that's not just with him, that was with everyone. So again, Chrissy comes into our thoughts again for the game against Hull, and off the back of that 60 minutes on Tuesday, hopefully he's in a better place.
And some players can be disappointed playing in a game, in a B team game, when they're on the fringes of the first team or regular in the first team previously. How pleased were you by his reaction in terms of how he played in that fixture?
Yeah, I was pleased, but I make it abundantly clear to all the players that you're here to be professional, do everything you can to get back in the team if you're not playing, and it's not a punishment. It's here to try and put you in the best place possible for when you get an opportunity to play. There could be an injury or illness today, and you might be called upon to start the game tomorrow. Well, if you then haven't played for the last 3, 4, 6 weeks, are you then ready to play? And that's my responsibility, as well as the staff, to make sure that the players are in the best possible condition, mentally and physically, ready to play in that game. So I think that's just being respectful to all the players right across the squad. We don't just concentrate on the first 11, we concentrate on the 20-odd players we've got here.
Hull City this weekend, they've only lost 2 of the last 10 league games, so they're a tough nut to crack in that respect. And on their last outing, they lost 1-0 to Sheffield United, who are obviously flying high. What tests are you expecting from them?
Yeah, again, that sort of tells you what you need to know about Hull again, and that they're to go to Sheffield United, and they competed very well in that game, and were well in the game all the way through. Could have easily maybe picked something up from that game. That shows you the quality they've got. They've got some good experienced players in their team. Liam's come in and stamped his authority on the way that they want to play, and they can cause you problems in the way that they play the game. So you have to be good without the ball, but also, the best form of defence is attack sometimes and keeping the ball. So we've got to try and go and beat us, but as we always do, respectful of the opponent, and prepare in the best way that we think is, to give them as much trouble as possible from our side.
And in terms of team news, just when we're excited by the return of Stephanie Johansson, we've had Ethan Laird and Lyndon Dykes both come off in the last fixture. What can you tell us about their availability? Yeah,
Ethan obviously coming off in the first half, you always fear the worst when you get the report, during the game and then after the game about a muscle injury. We've had positive news regarding Ethan, so he's not going to be long term. He will be doubtful for this weekend. But he's already been back out on the grass and doing some work, so that's positive. And Dykesy trained yesterday. That was his first day back training from, again, illness from the weekend. He was ill at half-time but wanted to continue. I think that tells you all you need to know about him as a person. So he trained yesterday. Hopefully, if he suffers no adverse reaction or after that, then hopefully he trains today and he'll be okay to be included tomorrow.